The town that buried its prayers. I was never supposed to stop in Gallowmere. It was one of those detour towns, nameless on modern GPS, not mentioned in travel blogs or trucker routes. My car broke down at the worst possible time, somewhere between exhaustion and frustration on a solo trip meant to heal a recent heartbreak. Maybe it was the universe, maybe it was fate, or maybe it was something worse. The gas station I limped into looked like it hadn't seen a customer since the 90s. The attendant, a thin man with hands to clean and eyes to dull, barely blinked. When I told him I needed a mechanic, "There's one," he muttered, "down the road, past the church. If you see the chapel, you've gone too far." That was odd because I hadn't seen a single church coming in, not even a cross, but I didn't argue. I took my bag, left the car, and walked. The silence of the ton crawled under my skin. No barking dogs, no music, no kids, just wind, dust, and boarded windows. Then I saw it, the chapel, or what was left of it. It stood like a wounded animal at the edge of town, roof caved in, stained glass shattered, its door nailed shut with thick iron bars. Black candles, melted into strange shapes, lined the walkway. The air was colder here. I turned to go back, suddenly uneasy, and that's when I met the girl in the red scarf. She stood in the middle of the street, barefoot, staring at me. "You shouldn't look at that," she said softly. "Sorry, I didn't mean." She shook her head. "The chapel, no one looks, no one prays here anymore." I offered a nervous smile. "I'm just looking for the mechanic." She pointed, without breaking eye contact. "That way, but hurry, the sky's getting tired." What? But she was already walking away. The mechanic, a middle-aged woman named Ruth, was kinder than expected. She took one look at my radiator and muttered, "You'll need to stay the night. The part's in my shop, but I won't install it till morning. It's not safe to work after sunset." "Why not?" She paused. "Power lines go bad. Blackouts. Bears, you know." But I knew she was lying. Her eyes darted toward the chapel. Just like everyone else, she gave me a room above her shop. The mattress was stiff, the walls smelled like rust, and the only decoration was a wooden crucifix turned upside down. That night, I couldn't sleep. Something was scratching the window. At first, I thought it was a tree branch, but the nearest tree was 20 feet away. When I pulled back the curtain, no one was there. But on the glass, drawn in condensation, was a single word: confess. I barely slept an hour after that. In the morning, Ruth worked silently. No one was on the streets. Even the red scarf girl was gone. While she worked, I wandered curious, despite my fear. That's when I saw them. A group of people kneeling in a field behind the chapel, silent, still praying without speaking. As I got closer, I realized they weren't people. They were statues, perfectly sculpted, eyes closed, mouths mid-whisper, except one. One was looking at me. Its mouth was open wide, screaming silently. Its eyes were bleeding stone tears. I ran. Back at the shop, I asked Ruth, "What happened here?" She hesitated, wiping grease from her hands. "You really want to know?" I nodded. She sat me down and lit a cigarette. 15 years ago, we lost something. Not a person, a connection. Every town's got its rituals. Sunday church, Christmas mass, funeral bells. Not here, not anymore. Why? Because we prayed too much. I frowned. "I don't understand." Ruth looked out the window, voice barely above a whisper. We begged for miracles, and something answered. But it wasn't God. That night, I returned to the chapel. I had to know. I brought a flashlight and found the back door rotted enough to break through. Inside, the air was thick, like soup. My light flickered. The pews were intact, but covered in ash. Hymnals were open, pages stuck together with something dark. Then I saw the altar. Burned into the wood was a handprint, not pressed onto it, into it, charred, black, human-sized, but with too many fingers. Behind the altar was a mirror, but my reflection wasn't right. It stared back at me with hollow eyes, no pupils. Then it smiled before I could. I turned and ran, but the chapel door was gone. Only stone, only whispering, only that voice again. Confess. I woke up in the middle of the road. Ruth found me and dragged me back. She didn't ask questions. She just made tea. That night, she finally told me the truth. There was a fire in the chapel 15 years ago. The whole town was inside. A pastor from another city came to speak. He wasn't normal. What did he do? He told us God had left, that we had prayed ourselves dry, that only the other was listening now. And the fire, he lit it from the pulpit. No matches, just words. Screamed a sermon in a language none of us knew. Those who prayed turned to stone. Those who ran bled from their eyes. Why didn't you leave? She gave a sad smile. Because we forgot how. The next morning, my car was fixed. I packed my things and got ready to leave. Ruth hugged me. Don't look back, she said, not even in the mirror. As I drove out of Gallowmere, the fog thickened. The trees seemed to move. And just before the last bend in the road, I saw the red scarf girl again. She was standing by a sign that wasn't there before. It read, "We remember, so you don't have to." She waved, and behind her, all the stone figures were watching me. Some were new. One of them looked just like Ruth.